Juju Smith-Schuster is going to Kansas City, baby. Going to be making some TikToks over there with Jackson. Is going to be
People love it.
something. It's going to be something to watch. I'll tell you what. All jokes aside, he's going to Kansas City, signs a 1-year deal. So now we have to decide in Dynasty, are we buying or selling him? Buying means I'm trading for him. Selling means I'm going to trade him away on the high of signing with KC.
Mm-hmm.
So, Badake, where do you currently sit on this for Dynasty?
Look, for me, if we had a hold option, I would definitely hold. But obviously, I'm probably selling here, and I think there's so many different scenarios that can happen with Juju Smith, and the scenario that I see his future going to is not a long-term contract with the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay. Yes, he signs to the Chiefs, and the biggest thing is that he's joining probably one of the best offenses in the National Football League, one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League with Patrick Mahomes, the best head coach's mindset with Andy Reid. There's so many good things for Juju Smith moving forward here. Okay, my thought process is how he went about this. What did he want to do? Because one of the biggest things that Juju said is that he wants to win. He came here to the Chiefs because he wanted to win. He doesn't care that it's a crowded wide receiver room, which is fine. That's okay. Like, I'm not expecting him to have, this crazy workload. But I just don't see where, in my eyes, he can finish as a top 20, even 25 guy.
What?
Because, yeah, it's true. It's true. And let me tell you why. It's because the demand of targets. Tyreek, 159 targets this past year, and he's been averaging that. Kelsey, 134 targets last year. And McCole Harmon, 83 targets. If he were to just take McCole Harmon's targets and 10 to 15 of Tyreek and Kelsey's, just targets alone, I don't think he probably just get 25, 24, something around those lines. And I don't think I want to invest in Juju in that way. I can see how he can blow up. No doubt about it. I can see that he's with the best quarterback. I think one of these guys have to leave. Maybe Kelsey is gone, retires. Maybe Tyreek is gone, or they don't re-sign him. I don't know. Hypotheticals. That's the only way I can see him projecting up to there, because I think Tyreek or some of these guys are going to be losing targets, and I don't believe that Andy Reid is going to take 20, 25 targets away from Tyreek or Kelsey. Like, that's my personal opinion. So for me, I'm willing to, and this is why I say I'm willing to hold, because I do believe you can either sell or you can wait for that contract extension. Let's say in the first 9 games he's going off. We want to sign Juju Smith. I'm buying in. I'm with you. I'm 100% there.
At that point though, you're not going to be able to buy.
Exactly. And that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Hold. If you have him, hold. Wait and see what happens, because if he has a good season, if he does finish top 25. Let's say he finished top 25, top 20 in 2022, then there's a good opportunity, or there could be a way that the Chiefs sign him. And if they don't sign him, then that's what I'm concerned about. If they do not sign him, the chances of him going to a team that doesn't have Patrick Mahomes, that doesn't have a Joe Burrow, a Lamar Jackson, a Kyler Murray, I think is high. He's not going to go to a team that I don't has a top quarterback. At least that's what it feels like. That's what I feel like right now. So that's why I'm saying hold, wait to see how he produces in 2022. And if let's say week 9, week 10, he only has one game, there's a lot of inconsistencies. He only has one game over 25 points or over 20 points, hypothetically. Maybe it's the time to sell, because you don't see a path where he can be extending his contract with the Chiefs. There's so many different scenarios. That's why.
We'll get to what you would sell for in a second then. Because I'm curious to see the value that you're expecting to get back for Juju. For me, Juju is a buy. And honestly, I wish I hope that you guys are able to buy him. I presented him as a buy low wide receiver on the 24th of February. Okay, we released a video, and I basically allude to the fact that I think Juju is still a good wide receiver.
Agreed.
He's been in a bad situation, and that he could go to a very good offense. And I went back and actually looked what I said. This is what I said. He almost signed with Kansas City last year. Where would I be ranking him if he signed a 3-year deal in Kansas City? So right now, we don't have a 3-year deal. We have a 1-year deal. For me, I have him as my wide receiver at 35. He would be higher if this was a longer deal. But look, Juju, the name is constantly smashed in social media. It's constantly smashed on the meme pages, right? Because of the TikTok scene. But this is a good wide receiver, okay?
Right.
This is a wide receiver that also has proven production. It's easier for me to tell you that Juju can finish as a top 20 wide receiver when I can already point to multiple years where he's done it. Okay? In 2017, his rookie year, he was a wide receiver 23. In 2018, he was a wide receiver 8. He actually was the number 1 yak wide receiver that year, ran the most routes of any wide receiver. That was his biggest year as wide receiver 8. In 2019, it was a Duck Hodges, Mason Rudolph effect, and he missed 5 games. That was rough. And then in 2020, which is relatively recent, he finished as a wide receiver 16, and he was sharing the spotlight with Deontay and Claypool. That's important. We're going to get to that in 1 second. Next thing is, just quickly, guys, Juju is not a 29-year-old wide receiver. He is 25 years old. He is 25 years old, okay? His birthday's in November, so it's not as if he's about to turn 26 or something. He is 25 years old. He is a young wide receiver that I think we are overlooking at this point. And the most important thing here is Patrick Mahomes and this offense, okay? Let's talk about the Chiefs offense that Juju is going to join. Okay, firstly, they scored the 4th most points per game in 2021. Patrick Mahomes currently has the highest touchdown pass percentage of any player in the NFL, any active player at this point. We really don't need to get into the reasons why Mahomes is great. We all know that. This team, 70% of their touchdowns came through the air. That is the 4th highest in the NFL. This is not a run-heavy team. Juju's not landing in Indianapolis. He's not landing in Baltimore. He is landing in a pass-happy system. Will he be the wide receiver 1 on this team? No. He will probably be right behind Kelsey and Hill. But you have to imagine that the conversations before, at least, I root for Kansas City, and the conversations around that community was, man, no one is there for Hill and Kelsey. No one can alleviate this workload. In my opinion, yeah, some of their target share does go down slightly, but everyone becomes more efficient. Okay? And how many games were there in the past couple of years where Tyreek Hill's been injured? He's been dealing with an injury, and no one else is there to really fill that hole for them. McCole Hardman hasn't been that guy. He's had plenty of chances to prove himself. So I think he actually fills a really big need here in Kansas City. But let's actually go back and look at a time that he has been successful with 3 main pass catchers on a team. Okay. In 2020, like I said, Juju finished as a wide receiver 16 on 128 targets, while sharing those targets with both Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool. Deontay had 144, Claypool 110, 109. So you might say, well, Big Ben threw the ball a ton. Well, so does Mahomes, okay? If we reference that season in particular, Big Ben, the 3rd most passing attempts, Mahomes, the 5th most passing attempts. The difference there is Mahomes didn't have to throw the ball as much because he was much more efficient and they were scoring at a much easier rate, right? So I could definitely see Juju finishing as a top 20 wide receiver in 2022. He'll be 26 next year, and I think this is a good opportunity for the Chiefs to continue to build a relationship with Juju. What you said about Juju earlier, where you said, I don't see them signing him to a long-term deal, I actually disagree, because we have seen him sign team-friendly deals before in Pittsburgh and now in Kansas City, and there was a statement that was released by Juju's mother. She said this: it's never about money. It was never about money for us. It's all about loyalty. So that's what she said about this most recent move. And to me, that speaks to a family that cares more about loyalty and would sign a team-friendly deal than they do about cashing in. Juju's making enough money outside of
100%.
The NFL with advertising, with social media. And also, by the way, keeping in mind that they are playing in the AFC West, the best division in the NFL. Russell Wilson, Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, Justin Herbert. These AFC West teams are going to be in shootouts. So there's a possibility for me. I mean, go ahead and lock in 110 targets for Juju, maybe more this year with the Kansas City Chiefs if he plays all 17 games. Go ahead and lock in 110 targets. What could Juju do with 110 targets from Patrick Mahomes? I mean, I truly see a top 20 finish. And again, I hope that you guys are able to buy back on February 24th because the price is going to be higher now.
Absolutely.
But still, I feel like the people who have Juju are more than likely on the edge of, well, finally I can sell him for something. They're not, most people, because of the Juju name, there is this narrative out there with like, okay, finally someone will give me something. So really, this all comes down to price. And I would love to hear your thought because you're selling, but I'll just quickly give mine. If I am buying, this is key, I would be willing to give up the 204 and above. So early second round pick, I would be happy to move that for Juju.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to cost a first. I don't think you're going to have to give that up. But where do you currently stand?
And I think that's why I'm holding, because I do believe if he does re-sign that extension, maybe you can get a first. You know, once again, if he has a 40-bomb game, this is the potential that he can have with Patrick Mahomes. I do believe you can sneak into the late first. Maybe not of 2023. Well, that's hard because then 2022 drafts would be gone, you know.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get a 23 first for him.
It just really depends. But for me, I do believe you can sneak in a late first, 11, 10, 11, 12. By that time, you will understand, that thought process of what Juju has done, the workload that he can get. So I think from 110 below all the way to the 202, I do believe is fair in my opinion moving forward. It just all depends on that long contract for me. It really does.
I imagine that because of the name and because it's only a 1-year deal, people are going to be hesitant to buy. I do imagine. So let me ask you, if it was the 203 or Juju, where are you leaning? At this point, you have to make a decision.
I will probably still take the chance on the 202, 203. Okay. Those people, Jahan Dotson, maybe I can get a Trey McBride, depending on what my team needs. There's so many things in where these guys land. Yeah. That
I get it.
Lock me in. I'm with you, bro. Give me if he signs a 3-year contract. If this deal would have been a 3-year contract, I'm all in Juju. I'm like, bro.
Here's the thing, though. If he signs a 3-year contract midseason or an extension or whatever at the end of the year, you're not getting him for that price.
100%. And that's why my thought process is best to either hold right now if you do believe that could happen, or sell, because I think moving forward for Juju, and this is just my personal opinion, that he wants to jump around and win. Yeah, you said it was about loyalty, but there's another thing that he's like, well, I don't care where I go. I just want to win games. I want to be part of the process. I want to win playoff games. I want to win Super Bowls. And I can just see him going to team, different teams that may need him, and not having a long contract. But if he does sign this long contract, I'm down, bro. I'm in a weird place right now.
Yeah. I'll just say this, because I've been thinking about this quite recently. Sometimes I do think that we as a Dynasty community, I'm not saying you in general, but I'm just saying I think even myself, we have been prone to maybe overvaluing rookie picks a little bit, because we're talking about a wide receiver who has finished top 10 before in his career, right? The situation is different. And he's with the best quarterback in the NFL, what some people believe, and one of the best offenses in the NFL. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know the situation isn't there, but what are the chances that the 203 is a bust?
Yeah.
So it's just something I wanted to throw out there. And just quickly on startup drafts, he went at the 8-11 in our most recent mock draft with our community. I'm comfortable getting Juju from the 9th round onwards. For me, he's an ideal wide receiver 4 on my Dynasty team.
Agreed.
And I do go wide receiver heavy early. Where do you kind of stand on that?
Yeah, I agree. 9th round, the production could be there. It's great value for Juju, no doubt about it. I think 9th round, I maybe, depending on how your board falls, I'm happy to take him mid-8th. Just really depends on how everything goes.
So comment down below. What are your thoughts? Are you buying or selling? It's a weird season. Let us know.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/fantasylandfam.